Hi guys, Chris here from Tech Tablets. This is the Redmi Note 3 from Xiaomi. It's the successor, of course, to the Redmi Note 2 that I reviewed previously about 4 months ago, which was a fantastic phone for the price. So it's a octa-core. It's powered by the Helio X10, otherwise known as the MediaTek 6795, that can clock up to 2.2 gigahertz. This particular model that I got here from banggood.com comes with 3 gigabytes of RAM and a 32 gigabyte eMMC drive for your storage. Now that storage is unfortunately not expandable. Unlike the Redmi Note 2, things have gone a little bit backwards when it comes to storage because they removed micro SD card support in Xiaomi's new move to remove support. I don't know why they were doing that, but that's their latest thing that they're doing now because the Mi Pad 2 didn't have it, which is a shame to see. But we do have now a more premium build. It has a metal housing, and it does have a fingerprint sensor for added security and a 4000 milliamp hour battery, which should last at least a day longer. So we are losing the micro SD card, but we are gaining a few features more for around about the same price, and you of course can get the 3 gigabyte model, which I have here, which gives you another gigabyte of RAM. So as I mentioned, came from banggood.com. This is their packaging. You can see it's very well packaged, and here's the adapter they've included for me because I am at the moment in New Zealand and I've included the Australia-New Zealand adapter. It's wrapped up quite nicely there, and we'll have a look at the box. So the specs are the same as the Redmi 2, the internals are at least, and we have the PowerVR GPU, which is the G6200, and the same 1080p screen with 403 ppi, so it's not a bad screen. And the box is a little similar here. You can see the other colors here. I have the black and silver model, Mi logo, Redmi Note 3, and here we have just a few specs on the back, mostly in Chinese, but you can make out a little bit there, just to say that it is running at 2 gigahertz, sorry, the Helio X10, 5.5 inch IPS display, and it is running the MIUI 7, which we'll be looking at very shortly once I get this powered on. So interestingly enough, they didn't opt for Type-C, micro USB 3 Type-C port, but they just went with the standard USB 2. So we'll have a look at the device first, and later on I'll have a look at the box. So we'll get the earpiece, 5 megapixel front-facing camera. Here's that screen. And our menu keys at the bottom here, so we have a back, home, and our recent apps. There's that micro USB 2 port. There's a mic at the bottom, of course. And around here on the back we have a fingerprint sensor. This is new, one of the things we do gain with this latest release. So we have the fingerprint sensor, which I will test out later on. And we have a 2-tone flash, 13 megapixel autofocus camera that has face detection, so it should be faster, and it in fact was faster on the Redmi Note 2 is one of those features adds in. Slightly faster than the other MediaTek phones you see that normally just use the standard kind of detection, autofocus. Definitely a lot faster, this one, so it's good to see. You're getting a little bit more for your money there. Loudspeaker, the Mi logo on the back, and the build is now metal. At least this part here is metal. I do believe the top and bottom here is still plastic. And on the right hand side we have the volume up and down buttons. They are made out of metal and they do very nice. The build feels very nice too, very solid. There's definitely no creaks in that, unlike the Mi 2, the Redmi Note 2, sorry. Had a little bit of a creak to it and flex because it had that plastic removable back on it. This back is not removable, of course, not anymore. And it does have a metal bezel around the outside here, and the micro SIM card tray is on the left. You can see right there. I will just open that up in a minute, and I'll show you now what is inside the box. So inside the box, there's I won't bother opening this. It's just all full of instructions and how-tos, but they're all in Chinese, so I won't bother with that. But we do have a micro USB 2 cable, and here's our little charger. And that actually looks exactly like the same charger that comes with the Mi Pad. And this is 5 volts, 2 amps. In fact, the same rating. So they must be using the same charger across a wide range of their products. So the Redmi Note 3 is just powered on, and you can see that it does come with a multi-language ROM. And we do have various languages, in fact, probably all of the languages you can think of with Android 5 that are supported. Now this is probably a multi-language ROM that they have flashed on here, being good, because I think the normal Redmi Note 3 would just come with Chinese and English, so that is good to see that they do at least have support for all those different languages for those interested. Now have a quick look here at the screen. Just get the camera to zoom. Sorry, to focus on that. It's a 403 ppi, as I mentioned just before, and it does look quite sharp. 5.5 inches, so it's 1920 by 1080, and it does support 5 gigahertz wireless. It is picking up my wireless connection right here, so I will just key in my password. Just done that off camera. And connect up now. Just running through the setup. Skip that step. I haven't actually got a SIM card in here at the moment. They also want me to set up my Mi account. I'm going to skip that one as well. I'll do that later on. Now we can set up Fingerprint for security. So this one, I'm actually going to do that just to see how that works in this video. So place my finger on the back. I can feel it vibrating there, remove my finger, place it again. So obviously I'm going to have to do this several times. Probably about 10 times, or maybe actually more by the looks of it. Okay, I think that was 10 times. Could have actually been 15, but that is now done. So I can later send a password up here. So the ROM's all set up now, just keyed in that password, and if I do lock the screen, I can simply place my finger on the back, and boom, it has unlocked itself. I'll just try that again. Okay, it's worked 3 out of 3 times there, so it seems to be reasonably accurate, but I will be testing that later on. So the default apps there, you can see the icons. Well, not the the icons actually, and the font seems to be rather large. I'm not too sure why that is. It could be this ROM here. King Root is also installed on here. I find that a little bit odd, but I don't actually think this is an official ROM from Xiaomi themselves. As I mentioned, I think their official ROM only comes with Chinese and English. So this is probably a ROM that Banggood must have installed, or their supplier has installed on this. So just have a look at the brightness. It's on automatic at the moment, so we'll just up this now to increase the brightness. Relatively bright, not bad at all. The screen does look nice. Now there were comments on, I think it's GSM Arena, their review. They mentioned that the screen does not have scratch resistance. I tend to disagree with that. I think it has Dragon Tail glass on it. It definitely feels like a scratch resistance glass to me. Otherwise they probably would have already put a screen protector on this, like we see from other manufacturers that like to cover it up to stop it from getting scratched. It simply has a frosted screen protector on it that you have to remove anyway. That's just for transit. So in my opinion, I think it does have some form of scratch resistant, this glass. And you get another look there at the screen. See, it's not bad. I'm not sure I like how large these icons are. Well, not the icons, the font size there. That's incredibly large. I'll see if I can actually change that system font size. Oh, okay, it's already on the smallest size. Probably this ROM that has been installed is why this is happening. Now have a look at some of the settings there. We'll just go to About Phone and have a look there. So we can see it's Android version. It's actually running 5.0.2. Interesting enough, it's not 5.1. And it's running MIUI 7. So not the 7.13, I think is the latest version, or one of the later versions. And you can see that it's running at 2 gigahertz, 3 gigabytes of RAM, and we do have 26 gigabytes available to us. And system updates, turn that on. Perhaps there are some updates that I will need to download. No updates available. Okay, so the particular ROM could have that blocked, or there might not just be an update. I will have to check that out. So Bloatware, it looks like they've got a couple of things on there. Opera, no idea what this is. Speed booster. It looks to be some bloaty kind of application there. Clean Masters on there, some other bloat, weather, Gmail's there, Play Store. We'll log in and check out Play Store. That should be working without any problems, I would imagine. And here are all the applications tools. There's a few more in there. So the standard kind of stuff there. It's really interesting again to see King Root on there. So maybe it does already have root access management rooted. So it looks like it already has root. Verifying the root status. Root strategy unavailable. Okay, so it might not actually have root. I will need to check that out. But I'll be back with the review, full review of this particular mobile phone. I will check out the camera, upload some samples as well, the original video and photo samples if you want to check those out from the 13 megapixel sensor. And I will have some game tests, benchmarks, and most importantly, battery life. But before I do go, I will check out the SIM card slot and the weight and thickness of the device. So the SIM tool, if you're wondering where it is, it's actually in the paperwork. It's just this little slip in there with the tool. And I'll have a look now. It is dual SIM. It does support LTE, 4G. And that slides out nicely. So there we have the space there for our two micro SIMs, not nano SIMs but micro SIMs, so that's good to see there. And unfortunately it's a shame that we can't put a micro SD card slot in one of these and at least miss out on having dual SIM support, but at least have micro SIM support. But anyway, that's the way that Xiaomi wants to go. So exactly 159 now grams. That's not too bad. It's not the lightest mobile phone. And we'll have a look at the thickness of it now. And the thickness is just around about 8.5, 8.6 millimeters there. So slightly thicker than the Redmi Note 2. So that's the unboxing and hands-on. Thank you for watching. I will be back with another video, the full video review, which I'll cover everything I can think of, the cameras, the UI, what's it like to use, Play Store, gaming, GPS, and most importantly, of course, that battery life test. So do check back for that. Within about a week or so, I'll have that up. Thanks for watching. Hopefully see you in the channel soon. Bye for now.